She's a wife, a mother, a grandmother. She's also a former professor of linguistics and also a member of many boards and committees in Nigeria. Her name is Professor Oluremi Sonaiya. She's also the only female presidential candidate in the race in the elections in Nigeria. Professor, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us at short notice. We know that you've been obviously hitting the campaign road just like any other candidates out there, but we appreciate that you're here with us on Sahara TV. So first of all, out of your campaign statements, you talk about the plight of all who suffer exclusion and other forms of injustice, and you're referring to children, women, the disabled, the poor, and the unschooled. So tell us what has been your major inspiration to take up this challenge and run for presidency?
Well, my major inspiration is the state of affairs in my country, with the resources that have been available to us in the nation over the past decades since oil was discovered.
Right.
There really is no reason for us to be in the state that we're in terms of the infrastructure in the country, and also the level of corruption has just been far too high. And it was obvious to me that somebody like me also should get involved, because I've always been concerned about social issues.
Okay, so now how do you plan to run an administration that's going to obviously look into electricity, water, and roads and all those challenges? How do you plan to do that?
You know that Nigeria has, even in spite of the downturn in the economy currently because of the reduction in the price of oil, Nigeria still has a lot of resources. If we are good stewards of what we have, we will be able to give a better life to everybody. It is important not to have the resources of the nation concentrated in the hands of just a few people. And that is even stated in our constitution. And it's going to be a lot of work to reverse all the years of vested interests taking more than their share of our resources and so on. But this has to be done so that every Nigerian gets their fair share of the nation's resources.
Okay, so now that Nigerian women represent at least 5%, in leadership roles in the cabinet, and you are the only female running for this election. Do you think that there's any cultural biases that are against female candidates in such races?
There are still some vestiges of those cultural biases, like we put them. But I am happy to note that things are changing. In my various interviews with radio stations, television stations, where people have called in to express their points of view, as well as on the social media that have been interacting with, I've been present quite a bit on social media, I have found that people have started to change. Indeed, what I would say is that many more people are getting rid of those biases, and they are more open to the idea of a woman contesting for the position of for the #1 position in the country, that of the president. And I've been really encouraged by that. Oh, of course, there have still been a few people who would say that, oh, Nigeria is not ready yet for a female president, or, the woman's place is in the home. She's to be seen and not heard, and stuff like that. But I believe they're in the minority now.
Okay, so like I said in your intro, you're a wife, you're a mother, and you're also
Yeah.
a grandmother. So can you tell us a little bit about your family, just to get a sense of where you're coming from?
Okay, I am married to a professor of animal science. His name is Sonaiya. Um, and he also attended Cornell.
Right.
So Cornell for us is a family school. Our children, we have 2 children.
Right.
The first one was born in Ithaca while we were studying at Cornell. The second, she's fully Nigerian, and they are grown now. So, like you said, I'm also a grandmother. I have a wonderful, supportive husband, and he has been a source of inspiration for me. And the children, too, have been very, very supportive, bringing in ideas and
So I
just
see
really.
that education takes a focal point, and this is also part of your campaign. How do you expect, or how do you envision incorporating education after you take the leadership role in Nigeria to engage the youth and everybody else?
Yes, we need to do a thorough, how would I put it, is a revamping of our educational system. The years of anomie, one could call it, to use the expression of our Nobel laureate, Professor Soyinka,
Right.
have taken their toll on our educational system in terms of falling standards, decayed infrastructure, and also in terms of the content, the curriculum. And it's going to be important to retrain the teachers themselves, so that the products of our educational system can be not only competitive on the global stage, but also education must begin to address our own problems and help us to solve these problems. We are mostly just importing and consuming what other people are producing.
Right.
As a result of their own education. When are we going to start using education to address our own problems, so that we are not just going to forever be consumers of other people's goods and ideas? So that's what I see as a major challenge ahead of us.
Because I think
in terms of
Nigeria stands
education.
out to be one of those countries, I think also in the world, with very highly educated people. So I think that will be a good point to look at. Now we'll go, you also mentioned in your campaign that we have to be ready, in fact, that you would ask the most difficult questions and ask us and ourselves, what are these kind of questions that you are preparing to ask? What are these difficult questions that you'd be ready to ask?
Those are some of the questions that were addressed or that were broached. I don't know whether the discussions were conclusive during the recently held national conference in Nigeria. Um, there is a lot of discontent in the land uh, because a lot of people, like I have said, suffer exclusion. The people in the uh, south, the region that we call the South, where our oil comes from, are not satisfied with the way that their region has been treated over the years. And we have to address their concerns. In fact, the issue of a federal system of government has to be revisited because we are supposed to be a federal republic. Are we practicing a truly federal system the way things are now? It seems to be the case that the many years of military rule that we have had in the country have left for us, have bequeathed to us a system that is too centralized. And we need to look at that dispassionately and discuss together, the terms of our continued, how would we put it, existence together as a nation. That was what was supposed to happen during the national conference that was held recently. And somehow we're still waiting for the results of the deliberations to be made open, to be brought into the public space for discussion. And also, maybe we would have to put some things to a referendum or whatever. I don't know what the present administration wants to do with the results of that conference, but we need to address those issues.
Okay, so now we've been saying hashtag bring back our girls, and this Boko Haram scourge in obviously the northeastern part of the country, the whole region has been affected. So the AU is planning to send about 7,500 troops to support Nigerian troops over there. Do you think this will be enough? And also, as a woman, I hate to keep referring you to that, but there's been over 200 and something girls that just went missing and never were accounted for.
There's no way to escape it, huh?
Well,
all right. The AU effort to help Nigeria, I think this is a welcome development. Remember that in West Africa, when we have had challenges like that, we raised a regional troop called ECOMOG to assist the countries that were, Liberia and so on, and they were able to really help in bringing an end to the conflicts in that region. I believe that this is an important step to take, and it's truly a welcome development. As for the girls that have been missing, it really is a pain in the heart of most of us Nigerians. We never imagined that 9 months plus down the line, those girls would still be missing and would not be back with their parents and continuing with their education. It's just such a heart-wrenching situation. And I trust that our government is exploring all avenues of dealing with this situation. Of course, you know that it is not only the Chibok girls, you know, the
Right.
209 is, yeah. There have been many more abductions from that region, and every single one of them matters to us a great deal. And I was with the Bring Back Our Girls group 2 Saturdays ago in Lagos, and we just want to continue to keep these girls and all these abducted people in mind. And we will never give up on them. We will never forget them. And we will keep drawing attention to their plight, to our plight,
Right.
until each one of them returns home.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor. So in closing, what last word could you give our viewers at home watching this particular interview before the elections?
Yeah, I would like to say that the elections present to Nigerians a real opportunity to make a bold step, take a bold step towards a more just, a more peaceful, a more equitable society. And I hope that Nigerians will be bold to take that step, because the situation is such that there's a lot of tension in the land right now. And I'd like to say that voting Kowa party with Oluremi Sonaiya as the presidential candidate really presents a wonderful opportunity for Nigerians to have somebody who is not going to spend all the time fighting opposition or whatever. We have been campaigning that, you know, is somebody with clean hands and no baggage. And I hope that Nigerians will take that seriously and consider that is a vital choice that they have before them, and make that choice.
Okay, thank you very much. That was Professor Oluremi Sonaiya, who's a presidential candidate for the Kowa party. She's talking to us via Skype from her residential place in Nigeria. This is Fungai Maboreke for Sahara TV.